All right, I'm here with the most recent UMass commit, Josh Cohen. I appreciate the time. I know it's been a busy last couple of weeks, last couple of days for you. You were one of the most highly coveted, big men players really in the portal. Talk to me just kind of what went through this decision and why, Coach Martin, UMass was the fit for you going forward.
Yeah, it was a really tough decision all in all. Took me several weeks to figure out where I wanted to go. Um I went on some visits, did a lot of Zoom visits, had some home visits. But Coach Martin and his crew did an awesome job of kind of laying out everything for me. They were so honest for me from the beginning. Um they honestly I was gonna get on a plane to go to Iowa and go visit that this weekend and a couple of different schools I had lined up, but um for me, I didn't want to waste too much time on where I wanted to go. When I left UMass thinking I wanted to go there, and I let it sit for a couple of weeks, and I didn't want to make an irrational decision. And then I got a text from Coach Martin. I talked to him on the phone for like an hour, and then the next morning I woke up and I wanted to commit to UMass, and I was 100% in.
Yeah. No, that's great. And, obviously, and I do want to talk to you in a little bit, obviously, about kind of the experience of the portal. We were talking a little bit just kind of how crazy that is. But, you look at even like a team like UMass, before your commitment, obviously lost several guys like a lot of teams throughout the nation are. What for you was beyond just Coach Martin, but just kind of what your role can be and the impact you can have at UMass that was so enticing for you?
Honestly, just like there's such a great history of UMass basketball players, and there's so many good people in the program and around the program that I had kind of met and talked to when I was on campus. It's not just you're not with UMass, you're not just getting the coaches having there, you're pretty much getting a whole product of people. Everybody from the managers to people working on campus, they were all super nice and very caring. Coach Martin obviously is who he is, and he's an awesome coach, and he knows he knows what to say and when to say it, obviously, and he's a very honest guy. And that kind of portrays throughout his whole program, all of his coaches and people around. And I talked to a lot of the players; they're all amazing dudes. We're going to bring a good couple guys back, and we're bringing some dudes in. So it's going to be a very talented group. It just needs to be, in my opinion, a group that needs a leader. So yeah, just seeing about it from a whole perspective. The whole UMass community just welcomed me in so much. From the AD Ryan and just everybody. It was an awesome fit for me.
Oh, that's great. And, for you, you look at last year, I mean, you, again, 10th in the nation in scoring, 21.8 points a game. You were top 30 in field goal percentage. Just your career, just kind of, I was looking at your career and especially the jump, from, 2022 to what you just did, 2021, 22 to, this past season. What has allowed you to be most effective? Is there something you point to in terms of your development and ability throughout your, so far a really good college career?
I've had a lot of great coaching. Coach Andrew Helton at St. Francis was unbelievable for me in my development, and Coach Krimmel, Coach McConnell. There was a ton of people around that program that brought me to where I am today. There was a really good plan in place. I mean, obviously, we didn't have all the bells and whistles. Like, you're not going to get that in the NEC, but I was given an opportunity. And I had a lot of good people around me, like former players like Mark Flagg, just a lot of people that were just around and helping my development. And the work that I put in from the end of my sophomore year to now as a I don't even know, this technically was another sophomore year for me, but 2 years later, 2 years removed from the pandemic season, I put a lot of time and effort into focusing on just getting better in one or two areas per off season. So for me, it took a lot of hard work, but I also had really good people in place to help me with that.
Definitely. And, you're going, obviously, you had mentioned, playing in the NEC, you're now going up even to the A10. I think through the transfer portal, one thing, though, that has been proven, not that it necessarily needed to, is that there's a lot of great basketball players in every league. I mean, you see, sometimes people say, oh, this jump to a new conference, what might be considered a higher conference. And obviously the Atlantic 10 would be. But what for you are you preparing to kind of work on this off season, just to kind of improve, again, your game something that you've done each off season?
Yeah, I mean, I'm everything that all the work that I'm putting into is developing my body. So, since my season ended, I was like about 245 pounds. I've not now gotten down to 228 pounds. So I'm going to be playing a different position kind of at UMass a little bit. You're going to see it. I can't give away too much yet, but
Yeah.
play a little bit of I have a little bit of a different role than I did at St. Francis. So, this time away from just the everyday grinds of being a part of a college team, I've been able to meal prep. I've done everything and put a lot of work into my body just in 1 month. So I'm going to be working on my speed, everything, just being everything that I talked to Coach Martin about that I want to be better at is everything without the basketball. That's rebounding, defense, cutting, moving, moving without the ball. And to do that, I need to get my body right. So my number one priority is to be in really, really good shape and, look the part.
Yeah, no, definitely. And last question, you had mentioned, obviously the history of UMass basketball, a long, long history, and a great history. Is there a couple guys or one guy that kind of sticks out the most for you that you would just love to meet, as because you are now becoming part of that UMass family, will be a UMass alum. Is there a guy for you that sticks out?
Well, there's a bunch, I like, Marcus Camby, Julius Irving, like see those dudes, like you see their jerseys hung up in the practice. So you're like what? It's pretty unbelievable. People that have gone through community. I'm ready to meet all the alumni. I'm a very big family culture kind of guy. Like I'm ready to meet everybody. I'm going to the spring game. I think in 2 weeks. I'm ready to meet a ton of people. And I mean, obviously like Marcus Camby, would be awesome
Yeah,
to
yeah.
meet. Like, anybody from that community. I'm welcoming everybody with open arms.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, listen, I know UMass fans are excited. Even just to watch you in the Atlantic 10, I think it's going to be great. But good luck this all season. Obviously, we will be in touch. But I appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me on.